That's funny. Um, I look like crap, but as you all know, if I have something worth saying, I'm going to come on here and say it. So I think Heavy Duty just kind of dug himself a deeper hole. I'm trying to look at this rationally, logically, and I've had a lot of people get in their emotions and be like, I hate you now. And I've been like, okay, you can hate me now, that's fine. But I still have to look at this rationally, logically, and kind of through the eyes that I was trained to look at things with. So if I have an opinion, or I'm trying to make points, or I'm trying to create a way for me to ask all the questions I need to ask, is because I was trained as law enforcement. I'm a retired parole officer, I'm a retired counselor. I look at things differently. I'm trying to seek out the core logic. I'm trying to pay attention and notice what I need to notice to understand the story that's being distorted. Because obviously there's a story being distorted here. What I would like to say is, something, I could finish all of this. Just show the contract. Dan, show the contract you signed. Show us, if you want us all to have massive beef with Upchurch and you believe you have the ammo to do that, then show us the contract. And let us see the contract. And if there's beef to be had, we'll have beef. We just want to know what the hell is actually going on, because it's back and forth. You're digging yourself a deeper hole. People are like, what do you mean, Elizabeth? Obviously he got gypped. No. He's putting a lot of stipulations on why he's coming forward now, what happened, and what he's trying to say is that they're all illegal, they're jacked to Hades. But my question, when he's saying, like, he got on there and he's like, Stone Baby Sounds goes and gets their music illegally, they pull other people's music and then they change it a little bit. Yo, what I have to say is inspiration comes from lots of places, and if it is not note for note that music, it's not that music. And while it may seem dubious and dirty to some people, it's also how cigarette companies and recipes and Betty Crocker and Little Debbie, it's how they all make their recipes and make their crap. It happens all over the world. Is it right? It's tacky as hell. People do it. But here's the thing. If he's saying that it was straight up theft and what they're doing is illegal, but he held on to this for months and months and months and months and months to see if it panned out for him, then what he's saying is, I'm not really upset about the illegal part of this. I'm going to put it in my back pocket and use it for ammo later. But had this worked out, you wouldn't have heard about that. Really, Dan? Really? You're only telling us now because things did not work out for you, because they did not fulfill their contract. But if they had fulfilled their contract, what you're telling us now is that they would have done so by illegal and less than credible means. But you wouldn't have told us if they had just fulfilled their contract. But then you tell us that the way they fulfill their contracts is through illegal and less than credible means. But you would have kept your mouth shut about that had they fulfilled your contract. Does that not hit anyone else a little janky? It's like, I wouldn't have said anything if it had benefited me personally, but because it didn't benefit me personally, I'm going to put you in prison. It's like, whoa, and you do understand that means now you're less than credible to me. And I'm sorry, but he paid $4,195 for Upchurch to write his music. I'm sorry, after this boy's got platinum, I would assume he could get more than $4,000 per song. I'm sure he could get more than $4,000 per stanza. It's just something does not meet me as quite plumb here. I'm looking at it and I'm going, okay, but every time you tell us, okay, let me take it a layer deeper, then it kind of obliterates the last layer. You should just have come forward, showed us the contract, and stated everything. You shouldn't have tried to incrementally do this. Oh, but I know something worse. Oh, but I know something worse. Oh, but, well, you withheld all of that to see if it benefited you. So the fact that you knew the most horrible, horrible thing doesn't mean crap to me because you didn't tell me it from the get-go. You hung on to it. So if what you're saying is true, and if I take you at face value right now, you're telling me that the way Stone Baby Sounds facilitates their contracts is through illegal theft. But you're only telling us because they didn't fulfill your contract. But you're telling us through your rant that you knew that before they fulfilled your contract and when they were starting to help you generate sounds. You knew it was illegal then, but you didn't say anything then. You wanted to see if they would fulfill your contract. But since they didn't fulfill your contract and you didn't benefit, now you can tell everybody that they do things illegally. Well, doesn't that mean that had they fulfilled your contract, you would have been part of something that was illegal. But you're okay with that because they would have fulfilled your contract. I mean, I wouldn't have been okay with that. I would have been like, hell no, it's illegal either way. We're not doing this. But you have a preference. If it benefits you, it's okay. If not, then you're, damn it to hell, I'm having a big issue with you throwing Boozy up, saying that Ryan supports somebody that molests children. You're going to get in a big world of hurt with Boozy over this if you don't stop that crap. Because Boozy can go online and make up all the stories and say all the wild crap he wants to say. That's it. He's a persona. He's an entertainer. He can always pawn off and saying it was art. But you saying he's guilty of this felony behavior without any proof is not going to go very far. Because he didn't get off parole until 2018, and then he immediately went back under investigation for something within just a few months because the man can't stay out of trouble. I mean, I don't care for the man myself, but I'm just saying you have to look at this rationally and logically. As soon as he got off parole, within a few months, he was back on investigation for something else. He had law enforcement crawling all around through his house and everything on top of him. And when he made that interview a few years ago, it went front page news and got a lot of horrible press on it. I didn't know that because I don't pay attention to the man, but I researched and I found out it did. And he was actively under investigation at that time. Do you not think that with him being actively under investigation for something else, that had the law thought anything was going on like that in the home, they would have investigated and charged him had they found it, but they didn't. He was charged with nothing. There is no proof. There's him being a complete turd online and being a clown and talking about things he shouldn't talk about and saying things that we all know is deplorable. But we can't say that that's truth because he's an entertainer and he gets online and he says a bunch of crazy stuff. Just go look at his interviews. They're all idiotic. But I can't say that what he says is truthful because a lot of what he says is just very much outlandish and there's no truth to it. But he was actively under investigation when that hit. And had law enforcement seen anything like that, they would have prosecuted him because it made front page news. There were lots of paper magazines and web-bound magazines talking about this and bringing awareness to it. And he got a backlash for it. But there were no charges and he was not convicted of that. So if you say that he is guilty of that, you better watch out. That's defamatory. Hi, Scotty. And so it's just like, everyone look at this logically. Like, I'm trying to look at this logically. At the end of the day, if I could see the contract so that I can say, okay, this was the contract he signed, these were expectations he was allowed to have. If I could look at that contract, then we could basically discern if what he's saying is truthful or not. But the fact that he just posted a video that said he thought Ryan was going to be his bish and write his music, and he was going to get these powerful songs written and sung and produced and backed up by Ryan Upchurch for $4,100. I mean, if Ryan were to start writing music, do you know what he would make for his songwriting skills? Do you? It would be way more than $4,100. So that automatically goes, ping, that's a red flag. And then he goes, and then when they sent me the sound clips, they're sound clips from the internet. Well, I bet you they probably said, do you like the sound of this, or do you like the sound of this, or do you like the sound of this? Give us some leeway, where are we going? But he says that's not what happened. Heavy Duty says that Stone Baby stole songs off the internet and then barely tweaked them to make them other people's songs. So he's saying that they stole the artistic property of someone else and made their own. And he says that he was given those things to see if that's what he wanted to make his songs to. But did he say anything about it? Did he report it as being a theft of artistic property? No, he sat there and waited to see if they fulfilled his contract. And then, months and months and months and months and months later, when they didn't fulfill his contract, he gets on here and he says, oh, by the way, they steal people's intellectual property and turn it into their own, which is illegal. Well, I'm sorry. If it was illegal now, it was illegal back then when they showed it to you. And if it's illegal, shouldn't you have said, I want no part of this, I'm not going to be any part of this, and reported them? But you didn't do that. You sat on it to see if they fulfilled your contract. But whether they had fulfilled your contract or not, it still would have been illegal. You would have just benefited from stolen property. You would have been in on it. So would you have told us all this had things worked out in your best interest? And there lies the question in my mind, is motive. What's the motive? Because if it was illegal for them to do that, it would have been illegal for them to have made your songs, and you would have been in possession of legal material to benefit from, and it still would have all been illegal. So why did you not report it, hang on to it for months and months and months, and only use that allegation when it benefited you? Because the thing is if it was illegal then, it's illegal now, and if it's illegal now, it was illegal then, and if you knew about it then you were okay with the illegal material as long as it benefited you. So tell me again why I'm supposed to be in your back pocket championing you when you are sitting here on stuff that should be reported to law enforcement? I'm sorry. It's like, what the crap's going on? And I'm sure that there is a lot of intellectual theft going on. I'm sure there is. But the thing that ticked me off is he starts throwing all these things like, oh yeah, for $4,100, Ron was going to write 5 songs. Ron would write 5 songs for $4,000 because I'm sure he could make a whole lot more money writing songs for other people. And Ron was going to sing on his songs and like backup vocals on his songs and help him through the entire process. I want to see the contract. Who signed the contract? Who is beholden to the contract? What was promised and verified through the contract? Because I have major concerns that we're not being told the whole truth. Because if he had the truth on his side, he would just show us the contract and say it wasn't fulfilled, and I'm mad. And I'd be like, okay, big boy got a contract, it wasn't fulfilled, he's mad. And I'd be like, okay. But because he's doing this incremental deep dive and he's relying on emotional manipulation, I'm like, It makes me feel really weird. It makes me think that there's something not being told that's truthful. Okay, I'll start over. So Heavy Duty just dropped a video to where he says that this was all in his plan. He wanted Ron to respond so that then he could come on and tell everybody that the way Stone Baby gets their sounds is they go online and they record intellectual property, songs from other artists, and then they tweak them and make them their own. He says they sent him 5 songs to see if he liked, which apparently he showed 5 songs, which I could see that going a number of different ways. Them sending stuff saying, do you like the sound of this? Do you like the sound of this? Do you like the sound? Give us direction to go in, dude. So there could be another explanation for that. But then he says that they stole that material and they tweak it to build their songs, and that he needs to let everybody know that the way they do business is illegal. And I'm sitting here going, you knew that by your own admission right there, you knew that months ago. But you didn't say anything. Which tells me if they had fulfilled your contract and you had gotten your songs, you wouldn't have said anything. But if it's illegal, it's illegal. Whether it happened now, then it's illegal. So why did you hold on to illegal, to something that would have been illegal? Why did you hold it and wait to see if you were going to benefit from it before you told people about it? Because if I'd gone into something and they were like, oh yeah, we're going to use this, we're going to take this song and kind of make it our own so they can't sue us, I'd have been like, whoa, no, let's do this right. We're going to make our own music. And if they said, no, we're going to take this song, I'd have been like, nope, I'm gone, and I think I need to tell somebody that this is how you do business. I would have been out of there, like, no, I ain't playing that game. But he didn't do that. He sat on that information for months, went along with the process, continued to try to, create these songs and get this contract fulfilled. So had they fulfilled the contract, would he have said anything about this illegal acquisition of beats? Would he? Because it seems like to me the only reason we're here is because the contract was breached and he didn't benefit. Because if he knew it was illegal months ago and he sat on it, that tells me he was okay with it being illegal as long as it panned out good for him. Because somebody that was really upset about it being illegal would have reported it and walked away, right? I would have. But he didn't. He sat on it and waited to see if it came to fruition and it benefited him. And then when it didn't benefit him, now he's going to tell us all about it. You know, Janie, that's something that very well could be happening. That's what I'm saying, Lone Wolf. Where's the contract? If this all boils down to they violated the contract, why doesn't he just take a picture of the contract and upload it so we can all read the contract? Because then, if he had valid beef and they violated the contract, I would be the first person to come on here and go, he had valid beef, they violated the contract. But because he's doing these incremental, videos, but what he doesn't understand is he's telling on himself along the way. I have many questions about motive. I have so many questions about who's on the up and up, questions about who's on the up and up and who's telling the truth and what's actually going on. Because if he signed a contract with Stone Baby, then he's responsible to Stone Baby, and Stone Baby is responsible for him. Ryan should not be anywhere in that contract. So why is Ryan supposed to be doing all this work for him? Especially for $4,195. Because we all know if we wanted to employ an artist like Ryan, it would cost a hell of a lot more than $41.95. It's just like, it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't make sense that Ryan would write 5 songs for him for $4,000. And it doesn't make sense that Ryan would back up for somebody that has not got a proven career at this point. None of this makes sense. That's what I'm saying too. I actually have a video uploading right now. It's like, go to court. If you have the contract and you have the means, why weigh in and get the public opinion court if you're not going to show us the contract? Just go to court and show the court the contract. Take care of it in court. It's really easy. That's the way most people would do this, right? They breach a contract, we take them to court. We go before a judge. We get it ironed out. So it's just like, why are we doing all this here? And when we're doing this here, instead of bringing in facts, he's bringing in those emotional things. Oh, and you support someone who supports BLM. That's not factually accurate. Ryan can support the musical artistry of another artist without supporting everything that artist does. Doesn't make sense. So then he goes on, he's like, oh, and Ryan supported the molestation of children. Whoa, buddy. Hold up. Because we're getting real close to you getting defamation charges from Boozy. I would think he's sitting there just waiting to stick his lawyers on you at this point. Because you're saying that because Boozy said something online, it's factually accurate, it happened, and he should be charged with it. But the thing is Boozy was on parole till 2018. And as soon as he got off parole, he almost immediately got back under investigation because he's a stupid idiot that can't stay out of trouble. We're just going to call it like we see it here. He's an idiot. So he was under investigation while he actively said those things online. He said those things online in his persona and being a drama queen and trying to create trouble, which is what Boozy creates almost all the time. Can we say that it was a factual statement? No, because he can say, I was being my persona and shocking people and scaring people. It was a storyline. I don't know if that's true or not, but I do know he was under active investigation when all that hit the fan, and it did make print media and social media, and it did make a hella big ripple in the world. And the cops who were actively in his life at that time, had they seen any of that, would have charged him with those things, but he didn't receive any of those charges. So I can't prove that anything happened there or not, and certainly you can't either. So to say those things, you're asking people to believe something that is not factually accurate, could be completely inaccurate, and could get you defamation charges. And you're asking people to just follow along and jump on this emotional journey with you. Well, I'm sorry, if you have a contract, anything in a contract that's negotiated should never be an emotional journey. It should be black and white. So you should just go to court, lay your contract down, and say, Your Honor, I need this clarified. You shouldn't go online and hype people up emotionally and say that you've got all the proof but never give them the proof. But I will tell you that if you knew Stone Baby got illegal songs and you sat on that for months waiting to see if they made your songs out of illegal beats or not, then you were waiting to see if they benefited you. You didn't really care that it was illegal. The only reason you're telling us illegal now is because they pissed you off and you're outing them. But the fact that you sat there for months and months and months waiting for them to complete your contract, complete your project, after you already knew, per you, that they use illegal beats, then that tells me you're okay with illegal activity as long as it benefits you, which creates a huge question mark in my mind as to if I need to believe anything that comes out of your mouth. And he's like, and sends his mama to attack. Listen, as a 43-year-old mother of a 23-year-old, my 23-year-old does not really communicate what's going on, what's beefing in his world, and who pisses him off or nothing. But if I have something to say to somebody, you bet your sweet bippy I'm going to march my fat ass up to him and I'm going to tell him about it. Because that's who I am. And if I have a beef with you, I'm going to tell you I have a beef with you. But it doesn't reflect upon my child because it's my decision to undertake those actions. It reflects on me. So for him to say, oh, you know, you send your mama to stand up for you, his mother should stand up for him. His friends should stand up for him. People should state, no, I know a different side of Ron that does not jive with this. Let me tell you about the side I know. And you're making people seem weak. And you're making Ron seem weak because he has people that love him and will stand up for him. It seems like he has people that loves him and stands up for him because he treats people well. Which is more than I can say for what I'm witnessing out of heavy-duty crap right now. I have huge concerns about this whole thing, but I'm just here to say, listen, I have concerns. And people are like, well, I don't care for your opinion. Okay. I mean, I listened to yours and I read yours, and then I had questions, and so I said, well, I have viewpoints like this. I didn't yell at you for your opinion, but these are my viewpoints. And then you come back and say, well, I don't care for your opinion. You're a bitch. Sorry, I thought we were exchanging opinions. I didn't think this was a ring fight. You people are crazy. You do not know how to logically look at something, ask questions, look at motive, not follow people blindly. And for everybody saying people are so far up Ron's hind end that they can't think for themselves, I will think for myself. If he violated a contract, if he did something uncouth, I'm going to be the first one to go, what the frig, Ron? Because I don't believe him to be that type of person, and if he is, I'm going to have problems with him. But right now, I'm seeing many more inconsistencies come from heavy-duty side of the fence. Especially with the last video. He sat on that information for how long? So he knew the processes were illegal, but as long as it's going to benefit me, I'm not going to say a thing. But if it's not going to benefit me, I'm going to blast you all. That tells me that he has a little battle going on inside of him. That if he gets personal gain out of something, it doesn't matter if it's on the up and up or the down low. He just gets personal gain. He's only going to blast it if they screw him over and don't give him part of the cut. That's how I saw that. And I thought, no, that does not bode well with me. That tells me that in some way you're justifying illegal activity. No. He didn't think that through. If that's a lie and he was just trying to bend people and get their emotions tangled up, he didn't think that one through because it makes him look like he's waiting to see if he can benefit before he voices about illegal things. So you're okay with the small guy getting their beats stolen as long as they fulfill your contract and you benefit from it. But if they don't, holy heck, you're going to stand up and tell everybody that they do illegal things. Well, if you knew about those illegal things for months and months and months and months and months, if it's wrong now, it was wrong then. If it's wrong then, it's wrong now, it's wrong. Personal gain should not factor in there. It should just be wrong. So why did you hold on to that information if it's wrong? It bothers me. Circle of Wagons, boys, we're under attack. I'm losing hope that people can look at things and sit back and go, what? That's silly. That doesn't make sense. Wait, but what he told me the other day doesn't correlate with that. What? He knew that was illegal then, but he waited to tell us now. But what if they had fulfilled his contract? Would we have even known? Is he okay with illegal activity if it benefits him? I have so many questions. But I see no one else asking these questions. I see everybody else just wanting to pick a side and latch on. And I'm like, have questions. Ask questions. And if I think he just wants the court of public opinion to emotionally overwhelm everyone. Because if he had a valid beef, he would have just gone to court, laid his contract down before the judge, and the judge would have cleared it up, and he would have been either reimbursed and given additional funds for the trouble, or they would have finished the contract. There's no need to bring all these people into it and to badmouth somebody's mama. It's like, really? And bring Boozy into this and try to say that Ryan's responsible for child molestation when Boozy, what he said, can't even be verified. And when he said it, he was under investigation by the cops for other things. The cops were all over his world at that time. If they had seen that, they would have charged him with that too. He's never had charges of that nature. So we can't say what was said is factual. It could have just been stupid drama and trying to shock and awe people and a big show. I just see so much going on that's just like, well, you're making it so much worse. You're doing horrible things that you're saying other people are doing, but it's okay for you to do it. But it's not okay for other people to do it. When if you have a valid breach of contract, go to court and have a judge fix it. And if you want the people's opinion on it and you have a valid breach of contract, take a picture of the contract and show it to us. Because I will be the first person to say, if you have a valid breach of contract, I'll be the first person to go, well, he had a valid breach of contract. But my concern is no one ever brings up fluff like this unless they have very little to actually be mad about. And I've sat in so many court cases. And it's just like, these things do not arise unless someone's throwing shade, blowing smoke, and trying to manipulate people because they don't have what they thought they had. And it's just like, why are we here? Yeah, and everybody's like, why does Ryan keep getting in these altercations with people? And I feel sorry for Ryan because I have some other friends that are famous. And when you have people that are crazy that want to latch on and suck you dry and use you for personal gain, it's hard to stay away from all of them. It's very difficult. And I feel sorry for Ryan because it seems like he finally got to a place in life where he can sit back and take a breath, and then the second assault happens. And it's like, dude, what's up with this? But he's also at the point of being so famous that people only see him as an avenue to their own fame. He's not a person anymore. He likes to be a person now. He is simply an avenue to someone else's fame. That's sad. That is so sad. But I have big concerns about Dan. Because if he knew there was illegal activity going on, and he did not report it, he sat there and withheld that information and allowed them to illegally create and satisfy other contracts with illegal materials to see if he could personally benefit from their illegal consumption of others' music, then he's responsible in there too. He's kind of like an accomplice at this point. He's an accessory. Because if he knew about it way back then, but he said nothing and wanted to see if his contract got fulfilled, if they had fulfilled his contract, would he have told us what he knew? Would he have told us that, oh, they get their songs illegally? If it's true, would he have told us? Or would he have just been, okay, I benefited from it, so it's okay? But since I didn't benefit from it, let me tell you what I now know. They get their songs illegally. Yeah, I found out way back here. What? What's this gap here then, Dan? This is where you withheld information and made a very critical decision on your behalf to wait and see if you benefited. Because if it was illegal and you felt strongly about it being illegal, you would have reported it here and not here. So she's like, whew, Johnny Gobble. Johnny Gobble is just somebody, bless their heart, that has had a rough life. Bless their heart. If Easter eggs were brain cells, he was hunting in the tall weeds and never found one. And bless his heart, he just needs to disappear and go back to Kentucky and live his life and stop. Stop. And you run across those people from time to time. But I'm very concerned now that Dan basically told us, I knew there was illegal activity going on. I was just waiting to see if they would fulfill my contract before I reported it. I wanted to benefit and get some money before I reported it. Really, Dan? Because that's just what you told us. You knew the illegal activity, but you didn't report it until you knew they were not going to fulfill your contract. And to this day, until just a minute ago, he still hadn't told anybody about it. So he'd been sitting on it. How many people, if it's truly what they do, how many people could have been screwed over? How many people have had things stolen and had their own creations used fraudulently? Well, you sat there on that, if it's true. Are you okay with that? I'm not. Because if they were doing something illegal, I don't care if they are affiliated with Ron. If they're doing something illegal, report it. Don't know about it, but wait to report it until you know if they're going to fulfill your contract. Because if you benefit from it, it's okay. It's just like, what? What? I honestly think this is a game he plays. It's probably a game he's played with someone else. He's not very good at it, so I can't say he's done it a lot, because he's tripping up and telling on himself when he tells these statements. And anyone that has questioned any kind of witness or has questioned any kind of defendant can see the terrors in the timeline and the backtracking and the, oh, but wait, what I meant was, no. That's why I have a very difficult time believing what he's telling us. I believe he's making up these things so he can, again, hold people emotional hostage and have people emotionally aligned with him and have people want to go and attack Upchurch because they feel bad about what happened. But the thing is I feel bad about lots of things that I don't know the truth about, but before I'm going to attack somebody else about it, I'm going to go and find the truth. And so I'm trying really hard to look at this logically, rationally, and to ask questions of both sides. But what it comes down to is Dan wants to be the plaintiff and say someone did him wrong. Well, the plaintiff has the burden of proof to show what was done wrong to them. And if they did not satisfy his contract, all he's got to do is show that contract. And instead of getting everybody in public opinion in on this, he should have just gone to court, slapped down a contract. If they had violated it and not fulfilled it, then the judge would have made them pay the court time for his attorneys and whatever that was owed for the contract, and it would have all been done. He's getting something more from this. That's why he's doing it through the court of public opinion. He wants something more than just the contract satisfied. It's up to each and every one of us to make our own assumptions about what we think that is. I personally think he's thinking he's going to get famous off of this. He might get paid to shut up. And he might be able to take his show to the next level, you know, and garner support and break down Creek Spot and pull over the people that don't have a brain, that only think with their feels, and get them on his side. And it's just like, none of that's necessary. None of that's necessary, because if they violated a contract, you go to court. I would never, if I had a contract with someone they violated it, I would just go to court. Because who else is going to fix it and get my money back for the judge? I would hightail my ass to court. So why is he not? And if he had information about illegal activities and fraudulent activities, why did he sit on it and wait to see if he was going to benefit from those activities and only tell us about it after he did not? And why has he still not taken it to law enforcement if it's valid, provable, illegal activity? Why has he not reported it so that somebody can be prosecuted for that and have to pay back if they've stolen people's music, have to pay them back? I mean, if this is really about right and wrong, wouldn't you want to do the right thing? I would, if I was having a beef with somebody and they were really wrong about something that was criminal, I would be like, forget my beef with them. They have criminal issues, and hey, I'm going to report this to the popo, and I'm going to back away, and y'all need to go take care of this. I want no part of this anymore. I don't even care if my issue gets rectified. I'm just really sad that I found out they were doing something horribly illegal. And it's just like, so why did he not do that? You know, there are terribly easy things to do if you're in this position. If your contract is violated or breached, you go to court. If you find somebody doing illegal activity, you report them. So why are we not doing these simple, super effective things to squash this? Why are we doing the court of public opinion and bringing people's mamas and friends and asthma and trying to link support for huge organizations and people that possibly abuse children when you have no proof? You know, it's just crazy. People go, well, he has proof. Boozy said it. Boozy's also an entertainer who says wild, crazy. Look at all of his interviews. He says something very stupid in all of them. And that's just Boozy's way. But he was under active investigation when he said that. It did hit the fan. It made paper, print, and web articles. And he was under active investigation. And I'm sure they looked into it. He was never charged. So that tells me nothing was going on, because I know the cops were actively investigating him at that time. And he got out of those charges too, because apparently it never, whatever they were looking at, he was not responsible for. But I know that he's not off law enforcement radar. He's on the radar. Let me tell you, a person like Boozy stays on the radar. So had there been any credibility to that statement, I'm sure he would have been charged. Therefore, I can't say it's factual or not. I can just say he made a very outlandish statement that I hope is not true. But I can't run after him and say that people that might listen to his songs are supporting the molestation of children. That's a big leap. I mean, that's a leftist tactic. You know, that's like saying people that are born with this skin color have some kind of supremacy issue. Have I ever given you any reason to think that? Well, no, but it's just an assumption that we run with because it suits our narrative. Oh, I get it now, Dan. So I'm just saying, try to look at this logically. I've had so many people be like, you know, for months I've came to you for rational, logical thought processes and to slow myself down and to think more wisely and to be less emotional, and you've helped me with so much, but I disagree with you on this one, and F you, I hate you, and I'm not listening to any more of your videos. Ooh, you didn't learn anything from me. Okay, bye. And it's like, okay, like this one woman give me this big rant how she just could not agree with me, and I'm like, okay, well this is my opinion, this is how I came to this opinion, and this is why I have this belief. And she's like, your opinion has been duly noted. Goodbye. Bye. Why is my opinion a bad thing? I thought we were all allowed to have opinions. Why is my opinion a bad thing? I mean, I allow you to have yours all over my page. And I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about this. And then I talk about it, and then you get butthurt and you leave. Y'all, we got to learn how to communicate again. We got to learn how to communicate again. Ask questions. Look at things and go, I'm a bit skeptical. I'm going to need a little bit more information before I jump on a bandwagon here, bud. You know, and it's okay to ask those questions. It's okay to say, no, I'm not quite buying all of this. I need a little bit more information. That's completely okay, because that's where I am too. But I've seen enough to tell me that something is coming out crooked when it should have been coming out straight. Had there been an issue, we would have, right there would have been. But when we got this going on, it's telling me that the issue behind it may not be as strong as Dan thinks it is. And so he's trying all of this to garner momentum. And I just have huge questions. Now, I'll be the first one if he shows us the contract and Ryan signed it, was part of the contract, violated the contract, I will be like, well, shit, he did it. Fess it up, son, you did it. But I can't prove that. And in my mind, when you sign with a production company, the production company has no power over an independent artist. And why would an artist subjugate themselves to a production company and a newcoming artist? It doesn't make sense financially for their, you know, where they are and their status currently. So I just have a lot of questions. I just don't think this is honest. I just don't. So I think Stone Baby, if he's really just blowing smoke and line, I think y'all need to go to court and say, hey, I want out of this contract. This man is insane. He's thinking a 4-point provisional contract has 15 points, and he's created this little fictitious world in his brain that I can't recreate in the studio, and therefore he thinks I'm in violation, and I need a judge to slap the gavel on this and get me out of this. So if I was Stone Baby, I would go to court. I'd take him to court and get out of it. And use all the videos he's done as ammunition against him to get out of it. So, yeah, we all need to question. I tell you all the time, no matter what I tell you, don't believe me either. Do your own research. Go and look things up. Ask the questions. Be leery. Be skeptical. Even of me. Because if I truly care about you, I know that you have to be leery of everyone you bump into. I am. I don't want you to come here and just automatically trust me, because then I'm not being honest. I'm being truthful to who I am. And who I am is someone who is leery of everyone, because I want to sit back, not get up in my feels, not get overwhelmed by emotions. I'm going to sit back and look for logic, make rational decisions, pay attention to behavior and actions, and make the best decision possible. That takes a lot of work. So I don't want you to come here and think you get it easy and you just get to believe whatever I believe. No. Question me too. Go through all those steps with what I'm saying as well. Make sure that the decisions you make and the people you support, make sure you know what's going on. Because I'm just going to tell you people right here and now, I don't know what the crap's going on. I just know that 2 full-grown boys are acting like little pansies. Now, obviously, if Ron didn't sign a contract, he can't show us anything. It's basically his word. It's basically his word. And I understand why he's probably struggling trying to make us all realize he ain't got no dog in this race. But, hey, Dan, if they violated the contract and it's really important for public opinion to side with you, post that sucker. Post that sucker. Let us see. Or take him to court. Prove it to us via the courtroom. But now stop trying to say that Ron is also guilty of this, and this, because he said he liked this artist one time, or he shared this song at one time, or he did a shout out to somebody. That's just, I mean, if I really wanted to stick myself to your ass and monitor you for about 90 days, I'd probably see a whole bunch of shit I don't like, because I can just go back in your early videos and know that you're not somebody I would probably spend a lot of time with, because you put your hands on half-dressed women way too much. I'm just not comfortable with that. Questionable. To me, that's questionable. If you're going to call people out on just simply supporting other people's music, but then you're going and say that they're supporting molestation of children, but then you're going to go manhandle a half-naked woman and smack her ass and have her lay on top of you, I see that as does not compute in my head. I have a problem with that. And that's just where I am on that. So I already have some trust issues with Dan. And that came from some of his very first videos. So I really would like to know, since it's been so important for them to try to create so many emotional upheavals in the fan base, I would really like to see this contract. Or I would like to see it go through court so that I know it's been handled appropriately. And I say to everybody else, let's just start demanding that. Something smells kind of junky with this, I'm just going to tell you. I've seen a lot of people on the witness stand. Seen a lot of people throw up a lot of stuff to try to make themselves look good. And almost all of them have something in common with Dan right now. And I don't like the way that makes me feel when I watch his videos. And I'm like, oh, red flag. Oh, body language. Oh. It really, it doesn't make me feel very good. And then I'm like, this man has garnered a voice for conservative America. Why is he not handling this issue like a conservative American? Perhaps that's not who he is. Have we all been lied to? I want to know. I really want to know. But we're not really going to know unless we see that contract. And if Dan doesn't show, if Dan keeps saying he has it and it's proof, but he doesn't show it to us, it's because he's getting more benefit from keeping us emotionally attached. And then that creates a whole different question about, why would you do this to your sub-base? Why would you put them through this? If you could verify that you're telling the truth with one picture, why would you put your sub-base through this? Why would you create the tension between the two sub-bases? Why would you create tension in the community? Why would you create tension in the conservative world? If you are who you say you are, which pretty much I'm questioning every thread of his being at this point. I really am. I don't see the body language of church that says he did something wrong, or that he knows he did something wrong and he's covering it up. I don't see the shiftiness. I just see him going, okay, you really went it beyond all expectations there. Okay. And he's just kind of surprised, and he's not enamored at all. And he's frustrated, but he's not surprised. And I see that, and I'm like, oh. Which tells me he's probably being more honest than the other party. Because the other party is getting fed off of this emotionally. He's loving it. He's putting on wigs and putting on a show and getting really amped up, and this is just fueling his fire. Why does it do that? Because he enjoys it. Why does he enjoy it? Because he's getting something he thinks he needs. What is that? Probably power. Which circles back and makes me question the motive again. So it's just all a big question. I have so many questions. I want to see the mother freaking contract. Hi, Denise. And if you can end all be all with the contract, just show us the contract and stop this. You're worse than two banty roosters and a freaking lot of hens. Well, and he's grown. He has grown a lot. But it's hard to grow when you're a spotlight. You're a beacon to everybody, and they can create these issues. They can create an issue, post a video, create a byline, a storyline, and have 50,000 people jump on it and attack you, and you're over there going, I was going fishing. What? And then people go, why can't Ryan stay out of this stuff? Ryan, if he's not on the contract and he's not part of this, then he was brought into it by Heavy Duty. And Ryan's already been like, dude, it's not my problem. Stop. And Heavy Duties continue this. It's hard to get away from people who want to attack you, especially when you're famous, especially with the mother freaking social media. So it's not that Ron is jumping into these issues, it's that they just keep harassing him and tagging him and showing his face and using his momentum. And it's just like, how can he stop that? How can he stop that? But I challenge Stone Baby or Heavy Duty Country. Show us the mother freaking contract. I'm done with this party of emotions. I'm done with you wanting to lead me by the nose and tell me I'm supposed to feel horrible about all these things. Show me the contract. And Heavy Duty, I'm very upset with you. Because if you found out early on, and this is true, if this is true, that Stone Baby steals the beats, and you found that out at the very beginning of this, but you didn't say anything about it. You waited to see if they fulfilled your contract with stolen beats. If it was illegal here, it's illegal here, and everything in between it was illegal then too, you should have reported it. So that tells me you're comfortable with illegal stuff happening as long as it benefits you. Because you weren't going to open your mouth until something did not benefit you and you needed to, tell everybody how horrible people are. Well, by telling everybody how horrible you think Stone Baby Sounds is for stealing beats, because they told you a long time ago, you also told us that you knew about it a long time ago and you were okay with it as long as it benefited you and you weren't going to say anything. And the only reason you're saying things now is because you want to hurt them. But somebody that has a thought process goes, wait, if you knew months ago that they were doing illegal things, why didn't you report it? Were you okay with the illegal things if it was going to benefit you? Wait, where, what? And when, okay, then I don't think you're the person that is like due north in righteousness here. I have a problem. I have, concerns. What's your motivation? I have concerns. Because were you okay with stolen property turned into your songs if you benefited? Were you just going to hang on to that and not tell anybody about that? As long as it benefited you? But since it didn't benefit you and it didn't work out, you need to tell them. Oh, and how long have you had that information, sir? Oh, maybe a year. So for a year, you allowed other people to get duped and have stuff stolen from them and you didn't report it? Well, it didn't affect me until now. It should have. You should have had a repulsive response to anything illegal. Because if you do now and you're saying, well, that's illegal, you should have had that response a year ago and you should have reported it. And the fact that you didn't, big red flag to me. Tells me personal gain is a big thing that you balance all your decisions out with. And Betty, that is not what I balance mine out with. No. So, I mean, people come on here and be disrespectful. That just tells me they've not thought through this. They're not looking at it. They're not looking at both parties. What's going on? And I'll tell Ryan right now, stop making instant friends with people. Stop. Not everybody you meet is your friend. Not every good old boy that has on a Bass Pro hat or a Bass Pro hoodie or has on dirty jeans is a decent person. Stop judging people by how much drawl they have in their voice. Get to know people. Learn about their integrity. Learn about how they respond to stressful scenarios. Learn about how they react and treat people. Don't immediately bond with anyone and bring them into your friend group. Research them. Research them. Stop making fast friends because it creates even faster enemies. Pay attention. A lot of this could be remedied by that. Don't have to be good to everybody. Consistency is key here. But I'm here to tell you, if Dan knew that this was illegal and he just sat on it to see if it benefited him, I got a bigger beef with Dan right now. But again, all this could be fixed by showing us the contract. And people say, well, he doesn't have to show us the contract. Well, then he shouldn't be online asking people to take sides without giving them the full court. If he's not going to show us the contract, show a judge the contract. Take care of it, because this is stupid. You could stretch this out for a year's worth of videos, which is probably what he's going to try to do. And that should tell us all what his motivation is. So it's just like, either prove to us that the contract was violated, or shut up. It's just, I'm there. Call. So he sat on those receipts since 2016. And so he's known for... if he's known they've been doing illegal crap for years, then that should tell all of y'all, if it's true what he says, that Stone Baby still sounds, then that should tell all y'all, he ain't worth crap either. Jesus. Oh my God. No, this is not what we need. And if Dan really was a patriot, he would be like, you know, I can go to court and have this taken care of in 15 minutes before a judge. There's no reason to bring all this and cause all this. But it's paying his emotional bills somewhere. That's why it's doing it. So, question everybody. Do your research. Don't trust anyone, not even me. Try to see as many sides to the story as you can, and then do a deep dive and figure out what you think is true. But I'm here to tell you that last video that Dan dropped, it created more questions in my mind about Dan, his integrity, what he has known, what he's willing to hold on to and not say anything about if it's going to benefit him, and then how he's going to come after people if it doesn't benefit him. So, for me, he right now is motivated by personal gain, not right, wrong, or being good to people. That's what that last video told me. So go watch it and see if that's what you get. That's what I get. I have another video uploading, and I did a really quick one. I've got two. I did a really quick one that's uploading, then I did a longer one that's uploading. So you'll have some more content coming from me about this, different ways to think about it. Because I'm just here to tell you, I'm mind blown that 2 adults, 3 if you count Stone Baby and all this. I mean, I thought women were difficult. We're not. Not by this standard. We're not difficult at all. Because this is absurd. This is absurd. And people run around going, Ryan's a child abuser. If you fart, you're going to lose all your brain points. So hold it in, buddy. I mean, that's just stupid. Boozy was under investigation. He had just gotten off parole. He was under investigation when he did that interview. The cops never charged him with anything like this. He's on the cops' radar. He stays on the radar. He's constantly in trouble. He is, for what I would call, not anyone I would want to be around. But at the same time, he makes good music. People like to listen to it, and Ryan featured him on a CD. It's Ryan's choice. I don't get to make those choices. And I just have to look at it musically and not try to bring over all of Boozy's crap. I'm just trying to look at the music. And if you tell people that, they're like, oh, you just want to really feel good about Ryan, don't you? Nope. Because if Ryan violated a contract or did something uncouth, I will call him out on it too. I just need proof, and I don't have any proof of that right now. So here I sit. But I'm here to tell you that last Heavy Duty Country video really perked me up and made me go, oh, really? You're okay with that? Go watch it. He knew illegal things were happening but didn't tell anybody. He waited to see if it was going to benefit him. Shh. I don't think he knew that he told us that. Oh my gosh. So yeah, everybody go take a meander at that one. Tell me what you think, and then wait for my other 2 videos to come up. And I really don't want to come back later tonight because I really want to rest. But should something major happen, I'll come back and talk about it. But I'm here to say I'm calling y'all. Calling it. Show me the contract or shut up. If you don't want to show me the contract, show it to a judge. But this could be resolved in 15 minutes. And I've never seen a man take his time doing anything this long. So why are we still talking about this when it could have been resolved in 15 minutes? Show me the contract. Or shut up. That's where I am. Bye, y'all.